Call the pre-council meeting to order tonight for our January the 3rd, 2023. Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. Appreciate y'all coming out in this weather. I know that I actually had a couple of our regulars call today and said they just didn't think they would brave the weather to get out tonight, so I think that's understandable. We don't have too crowded of an agenda tonight, so hopefully if everything goes smooth, we can get a lot accomplished and get out of here pretty quickly, keep anybody from getting stuck in this bad weather. So welcome again to everybody. If you would, remember to turn off your phones or at least turn them to silent if you do have them so they won't interrupt or be heard on the meeting. Almost after every meeting I get called and people say they cannot hear us, so I'm guilty of that. If y'all would, please try to speak clearly into the microphone so those who are here can hear and also those that are watching will hear what we're saying. All right, let's run down the agenda real quick. Looks like we'll call to order, and we'll have our invocation. I think Mr. Skelton did it last meeting. Ms. Reese, would you do?
Yes, sir.
So we'll do Allison that invocation and pledge. Thank you. I have a roll call vote, and it appears that all are present tonight. Okay, we have the agenda. I think that was put out to y'all last week, and it's been sitting out published here. Most of the stuff on here tonight are things that we've already discussed. So everybody have a chance to look over it? Is there any additions you want to make right now? Or if it's something we've already discussed, it comes back up better. None of us ain't ever had a problem with that, so that'll be fine.
I'll approve the agenda, but I would, I may have an adder right before the meeting starts. I want to discuss something with Jay after the pre-council.
So are you saying you'll make a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, and I may add a request for an executive session after I discuss with Jay.
Mr. Skelton says he'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Can he get a second?
I'll second it.
Last meeting was held on December the 20th, 22, and y'all have got the minutes in your packet tonight. The only thing I noticed was the correction on page 2 under visitors. Have Alicia Fisher. She is with Driven Engineering, not ALDOT. We are working with ALDOT on the grant, but she is with Driven Engineering. That was the only thing that I saw. Any other corrections anybody wants to make? You can change it and have it before council, then I just need a motion and
I can make it.
Second.
Mr. Skelton, Mr. Little, to second. Recognitions tonight. The clerk brought the Human Trafficking Awareness Month proclamation. I think it's been standard from several of the cities that do it. This is January is the Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Same thing we've done, I think, the last 2 years in January, isn't it? So,
I can make a motion to approve.
okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Ms. Reese, Mr. Phillips.
I don't need to read it, do I?
Can if you'd like, but I don't see a reason to.
I've done it before, but I don't think it's necessary.
I wouldn't think since it's a repeat of an ordinance that's already been read multiple times, it would be required.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We don't have any visitors listed on here tonight, so is there anyone out tonight that was planning to come up? The ladies, I see y'all are here. Is there anything that y'all would like to bring up now or do in pre-council? Any questions or anything? Okay. All right, well, we're moving pretty fast. For the mayor's report, unfortunately, through the holidays and all, we have continued to have some death and sickness here in our community. So try to keep those families in mind. If you see any of them, and give the condolences and all. So overall, I think we had a pretty good holiday season. I know the fire department did have one working fire over the weekend that we had, so we've had that and a couple of traffic accidents, but I don't think any of them come with major injuries or anything, have they, in the last couple of weeks, Chief? Troy? So good. See the ladies out there, the Union Chapel, if y'all been by it, it's starting to come on along with the siding and all, so hopefully y'all are proud of that, and we can see where y'all go with that. If any of y'all are riding around on the north end of the city, you probably saw where the construction barrels and all went up for the highway, so it really has a lot going on through there because it starts there about the Waffle House, and as soon as that project is over, it starts the area that they marked off where they still doing the repair on the bridges or the painting, sandblasting, painting on that, so it's quite a little bit of work going on through there. On sidewalks, I think we can go ahead and take care of this in pre-council and let Alan go. Alan, would you like to come forward in case there's any questions from the council? As y'all know, our sidewalk project, we were hoping to start this week, but with this weather that was projected and the fact that there was a couple of pieces of pipe, I think, regarding the drainage, the contractor could not get in this week, so they're now hopefully still will start next week, weather permitting again. So that's hopefully 2 weeks from now, when we meet again, there'll be work will be going. Also, the grant that we were turned down on last year about the second phase of the sidewalks that we discussed a couple of years ago, through regional planning, they are now asking for the cities that are interested in doing sidewalk projects. Since we were turned down last year, I've asked Alan about let's looking into trying to pursue these grants, the grant money available through South Alabama Regional Planning for the project, which is the same ones I've said that we were not fortunate enough to get last year. So I told him I didn't think anybody from the council would have any issues on us continuing to pursue those matching funds. But if there's any questions or anything y'all had, Alan agreed to come out tonight since we got that one project started, and he's kind of working the other one.
Is this a new set of roads proposed?
This is the same project that we applied to AlDOT for last year that was not selected for funding. But this time it's through the Regional Planning Commission. There'll be, I mean, you know who's in your Regional Planning Commission. There'll be very few applicants.
I thought we had a couple of different streets, like Oak being one.
We looked at that. We looked at that. You're talking about going down to the new homes? We looked at that and the project cost just got too high. And so that was removed from the project. But if you would, I mean, we're open to whatever pleases
I thought it
the
was like
council.
either or kind of thing, not all of it.
This is what was actually sent to AlDOT for the application, but if Oak Street is more appealing to the council, we still have all that information and can make the switch. The resolution tonight is not on a specific project. We can work those details out. The resolution would just be to authorize to make application.
So did the council vote on these roads to go?
Yes, this is exactly the ones we brought up. and
Last year.
It's tying the park in over there and to the sidewalks. that
Oh, that's
already
in front of
exist.
the
Yes.
garden?
In front of the community
How
garden.
is that going, by the way? Has anybody heard anything?
Yeah, they're wanting to do another planning this coming year and make some plans, but I told them that they needed to firm up exactly what they want to do and what they want to use before we agree to do anything, so we'll know more details.
And so one of the reasons we landed on this project specifically was because it finished up the connections. Whereas with the Oak Street project, we kind of just run out there to the houses and that's the end of it. So as from a project map standpoint, this was just a better we felt it was a better application for connectivity.
And then the following year start somewhere else, like pick up another end.
That was the original intent, but then we didn't get funded last year. So we just picked up where we left off.
You just got the sidewalk there at Vaughn Drive Extension just stops, and you got those over on Landing that just stop at the road. So, I mean, this would just kind of connect the neighborhoods and the park and back out, you know, to that. So,
I'd like to see Baker get connected to where I guess Bayou on the west side of 43.
Baker connected.
Baker to Bayou.
Well, I thought Seventh Street.
Seventh
was
Street
connected.
connects Baker to
Baker to Bayou.
Bayou.
We do.
No, on 43, excuse me, on 43, and that way people could go. It would be part of a bigger plan to bring like a Main Street feel to the city, so people could park and walk and visit the shops that are along that area. I don't know, that's just looking.
No, that's definitely something we can put in for a future phase.
I'd like some LED lighting and some maybe
You
hanging
just
baskets.
spent, you just spent
and
$1 million.
some pedestrian.
Oh, I know.
Protective, like
It could
wrought
be-
iron fencing going along the highway.
It could be very nice, but you just spin it. If you want it, we can do it.
It would be nice if we could do one of the Main Street grants that the league, like, that's
Mm-hmm.
one of their programs, to see if maybe we could come up with something where we could submit a proposal and, you know, maybe have some more grant money come in for that type thing.
Okay, I agree. You know, we can, well, like I said, in Alan and I's discussion and applying for the grant, we just felt like showing how many houses this section, by connecting, we can put on the sidewalks and accessible, and the park and all also. We also
We'll be
got
able,
little
as a part of this
drainage work.
project, we'll also be able, we had intended to make improvements to the entrance of the park. There's like kind of a big ditch in front of it now, so close that off, make that more accessible. And then there's a really large outfall ditch to the south of the park that we were hoping to make some improvements there as well. But it all just depends on where the bid comes in. So any questions on this? Okay, you will have a resolution in front of you tonight, and it's just to make application. You can see there on the second page, if the city desires, these matching funds can be spread out over 3 years per the grant requirements. But if you pass this resolution, you need to be very serious about doing this project. A lot of times I'll tell you, we're getting in line, and we're hoping to get it. It's gonna be a few years. You need to be very serious about doing this project if you make application. And if I
I'm
could,
serious. I mean, the
it's a great project. Just, I didn't want anyone to think that, hey, we can sit on this for 2 years or we're getting a place in line. And if I could, just a quick update, the current paving project that we're wrapping up, we're substantially complete with that. We ended up we're going about $2,000 under the bid amount, which is good. And we were able to pave the rest of Dogwood, I believe, back out to, is it Baldwin? So we were able to get all that. We're just waiting on some dry weather to place the stripe. And then the last thing we have is that pot of money that we used to pave those roads. AlDOT has released it again for funding. You are not going to get funded for this 2 years in a row. Like, it could be 4 or 5 years before you get funded again, but I would recommend we reapply. We reapply, we get our place in line, and we continue to reapply every year. So applications are due second week of February. So action would need to be made at your next meeting if you wanted to apply. If you would like, I can start working with Travis to figure out what roads would be a potential. And if you have input on those roads, please let us know.
So what he's saying is, hopefully by the next council meeting, Travis he's been with James, they've already started making a list and photographs of streets that are in bad need of repair. If y'all have any specifics, I don't have anything. I told him I didn't have, I mean, we got several streets that we can use. I sit here and name them, somebody be calling mad at us, but we identified 6 or 8 right off the bat that could definitely be in need of resurfacing.
Just as a reminder, it's $250,000, so you're not looking at We did 3 roads this last time, so you're not looking at anything crazy. So if you know of any of
Not
your,
concrete prices.
no, we're not looking at concrete prices. We're looking at your local, your small local roads that you drive on every day that you're just like, this needs to be redone. This just needs to be overlaid.
Can it be dirt roads, or has it got to be resurfaced?
It could be. I see no reason it couldn't be a dirt road. The problem there is just gonna be, there's only $250,000.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about that reason. We wouldn't do
Okay.
Any other questions about it, though?
No, we appreciate it, Alan.
All right, well, thank y'all for everything.
Be careful in this weather.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Okay. All right, the sidewalks, that one and the one we're applying for. Go Mesa grant is on the, on here tonight. I think Robert misspoke the last time he was here, and he told us for the $1,147,000, that included piers on the west side, the west, the bank. And I got a call the following day and said he had misspoke, and it did not. So, as you can see on D down there, they still say they think they can do it by saving money because they don't think we're gonna have to replace all the piling and that we may be able to do it. But he's saying that that's, if we wanna put the piers on the west side, that we would be looking up to that $1,330,131. So I told him we'd put it back on the agenda, discuss it, and if y'all want to look over it, think about it. And I'm not sure if he'll show up tonight or not. I thought said he was going to try and come.
So did we get more money than we were supposed to? Because I thought we were getting $1,024,141.
No, that's how much money we have left in the Go Mesa grant, $1,024,000. So we'll have to move money from one of the other accounts.
That was the original amount that we got.
Yes, that's what I understand. I mean, that predates me, so. y'all-
But this goes way over that.
Yes, ma'am, I think we had anticipated this project maybe even going higher than this over what the original price was.
I thought we took off like the playground and stuff so we could get,
Took off a lot of stuff, yes, ma'am. So if we have a workshop meeting, we can look at our finances and see where y'all would like to try to, if you want to do that other side. If you don't, we don't have to do it. We could move some money from general fund, we can move some from the American Rescue Plan. Cover the overages.
well, what we already voted on was already $122,962 over what the grant was for. So that's got to be coming from somewhere on our budget.
Well, wherever y'all would like to move it from. Fortunately, we've got the money, we can move over and make the payment.
I thought that you had said at the last meeting that it was 1 million, what was it?
$1,147,000 is what we voted on as a council to approve.
No, for what the grant that we got was. 1.2 million or something, you said?
I don't recall exactly what you got originally. That was before I got here.
Yeah, we didn't get that much.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not sure we've listed out the cost of the project. I mean, if you've got something you'd like to delete from the project, or if you don't want to go the extra money right now, while they're in there working, we don't have to do it. We can stick with what we voted for 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay, should have our audit ready for the water board meeting next Monday night, and I will let y'all know. Did I understand it, that y'all said you'd like just to come in early on a Tuesday before a meeting to do it? So
That'll be good.
how long do y'all think we would need for y'all to answer the questions or anything you might have? The meeting, next meeting will be on the 17th. I could see if she could get here about 5:15, 5:20, and maybe get started at 5:30, just devote a half
Yeah,
hour
that's
to
fine.
that. Is that okay?
5:30.
So we're going to make pre-council at 5:30 before the 17th. All right, just kind of since we're informal, real quickly, I would like y'all to meet our new building inspector. He's joined, George, if you'd like to stand real quick and come introduce yourself to the council. Okay.
Yeah, I'm George Fraley. I come from Baldwin County. I live in Mobile, but I was working in Baldwin County in their building department, so it's day one, and I'm still here. So. I believe
Hi,
you're the
George.
only fellow I hadn't met. I'm Mike Butler. Good to meet you also.
All right. All right, well, George, we welcome you aboard, and hopefully you'll enjoy it here. And so that's going to cause us to have to make a couple of other changes. We've got the truck that's being serviced and checked out for him to start using for our building inspections. As I've said, now that leaves the city without a vehicle, so I would like for us to go ahead and try to pursue purchasing another vehicle that can be used for the city business, one that can be here. So we've put one in the budget the last 2 years, so we have one budgeted, so we will try to have some recommendations for the next council meeting on what we can find. Heather, did you ever get back, have you heard back from the,
He was out sick today. He'll be back in the office tomorrow.
okay, Troy, and I think two of the police cars came in last week.
Yes, sir, I spoke with him today on his cell phone, and he said one is ready for pickup, but the other one still has to have the final inspection, make sure there's no damage in shipping, anything like that. He sent me an invoice and told me that he would let me know when they were available, both of them for pickup, and I'll arrange it for me, let you know.
Okay, so they're both in, so hopefully those two will be here with us by the next meeting. We have a senior aide starting with us tomorrow, so one more person. Through regional planning, we can use the employee for up to 6 months. They will pay the salary, 40 hours a week, so hopefully we'll have a little more assistance in the office starting tomorrow. With that being said, that's really all I have. Mr. Little?
Mayor, I didn't have much either. I was gonna welcome, Mr. George too, but we handled that, so, I'd like to thank the ones that did work over the holidays, certain police and fire and, sanitation, different areas, but, thank y'all for that. That's all, Mayor.
Okay. That's good. Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Chief, I've got some stitches in my mouth, so I can't talk too good right now, but, tell the report for the fire department and the policemen to again.
We gonna give it in regular meeting, Mayor,
Or you can do them like afterward.
If you got anything you want to talk about, let's go ahead and do it so we can get it out, because we're going pretty fast. Is there any specifics?
So we run 896 fire EMS related calls this year. On your report, you see there's 40 calls, it's not showing that I handwritten 396 on there because of the holiday
George, you got?
I don't have mine printed out with me.
Yeah. Yeah, if you'd like to bring one for the meeting, that'd be fine. I think it's, said you had 473 calls for service last month. Had no felony cases, that was good. 62 misdemeanor cases, 37 misdemeanor arrests, 11 traffic accidents, and 80 citations were issued during the month.
I did leave out here that we run 75 aid giving calls between Searle and Creole Fire.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Skelton?
Yeah, I just wanted to make Travis aware, the line at, the water line at the little cooking area at Steel Creek Lodge busted on Christmas Eve. Okay. I just want to make sure you was aware of that. I went up there and shut it off. So, and that was, that's mainly the only thing. I just want to make you aware of that. So,
All right.
I also
Appreciate
appreciate everyone that worked over the holidays. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, Ms. Reese.
I don't have anything right now.
We are moving fast. Mr. Phillips?
Mayor, I just go through mine during regular meeting.
Okay. We got payment of the bills.
I get that one.
I'll second it.
Mr. Skelton, Mr. Phillips. B, discussion and consideration of attending the NLC conference March the 28th, 26th through the 28th. Is there anyone that wants to attend the conference or the things that they would like to go?
I cannot make it this year.
Not gonna be able to.
All right. Jason, Kent, Allison, you'd said last week, last meeting, you wanted, didn't,
Said what?
you said you expressed some interest in it after the,
Oh, I'm not
Councilman.
gonna go.
Mr. Phillips,
Mayor, I'm interested, but I gotta check these dates.
you better let her know, because I think she said the last meeting she needed to get the reservations.
I need,
So,
something's come up since last meeting, I need to verify these dates.
okay.
The cheaper rates end of December 31st, but they still have an early bird rate till February 17th. So it's up $110.
Okay. C, discussion, consideration of applying through MPO for the sidewalk project.
Need a motion on that?
Yes,
Mayor,
yes, we need a motion on it.
I'll put it in the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Little. All right, D, discussion and consideration of amending the awarding of McElhaney Construction Company LLC as the lowest responsive bidder for the Go Mesa project in the amount of $1,330,131.08 instead of $1,147,103.98 to include the west side pier section.
I'll make a motion on it.
So we was gonna try to have a workshop, or
I think you're going to have a pre-conference before the next meeting, I think.
Mayor, the way I look at it is, we'll never have opportunity to do that work for that price again.
Well, I'm for it. I'd like to
You
see
know, that's what I'm
that on
saying.
the
If
side.
we don't do it now, you'll never get it to that price.
We're just gonna worry about where we find the money.
Well, I mean,
later.
I know where we can find the money. I mean, we can move it, we could move all of it and have some left over from American Rescue, but I don't think we need to move it all from there. But, I mean, this is, you know, like I said, this started before my time here. I've tried to guide and put what we can and we can afford, and I'm hoping that we don't have to replace all the piling or as many as they had in the bid. I think some of those pilings will be fine. They don't look that bad to me. So if we can save money on the pilings, we're hoping, he assures me he thinks he can bring it in under that amount. But he's saying it may go up to that. But I mean, I can only tell you what he's telling me, so.
All right.
Mr. Phillips has said he'd make the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Little says he'll second it.
I guess I'll want to discuss it further when we get to the meeting. Because then it just puts us $305,990 over what the grant money is. And, I mean, I know you're saying you can pull the money from somewhere, but I'd like to see how much money we have in the rescue funds budget and maybe prioritize what that money's going to be. Because I know that we talked about, like, we scrapped the playground, and I was just looking through the Go Mesa paperwork where it says that we're going to provide kids with educational experience. I know we're doing the signs with things on it, but we were supposed to also have the outdoor classroom, which we're not doing. So if we're already going over budget, I'm not sure why or where, because you said that we would get the $50,000 for the playground from somewhere else. But if we're taking $305,000 from somewhere else, you know, what about this additional $50,000 for the playground? And then,
All I
How
can
much
tell you is
money-
I've had him bring forth everything and the cost of the project, so you could see everything where the money is going.
well, that's not what we voted on last week. We voted on just to go over 122,000, which is still 122, well, almost 123,000 over what the grant money was. So that's already, you know, going in the pocket of another account
So
or budget line.
we've got, on there, there's $50,000 in owner contingency in there. So basically that is, to cover change orders and stuff like that. So there is a chance that 50,000 won't be touched if the project goes as planned, so.
This here?
Right.
I thought we was gonna try to do some of that as
Say,
far as playground
we don't
stuff
need them.
ourself.
Well, where would that money come from then?
We don't need them to put playground equipment in. We can do that ourselves.
Well,
If-
I mean, the two biggest things that I had recommended was the money we have left in the American Rescue that we can use on these projects, I've been told now, since they loosened it up. And we have some in the general fund that we can move over there.
I guess we maybe want to put it down in writing and do like whatever our capital project, you know,
I would love for us to have like a
Plan is-
workshop one night where we discuss building projects for the next year, possible cost, and, you know, how we can afford to do it and move forward with some of those.
do you know how much money is left in the American Rescue Funds?
Well, I know as of last Friday, it was let me see, $431,354.48.
And you're wanting to take 305,000 from it? That doesn't
Well,
look
I just
legal.
clearly said that, and I thought we could take some out of our general fund where we have right, almost 1.75 million in there. So, I mean, we've got some avenues we can, or some accounts that we can move some money from to cover these costs if we have to. Now, I would like, just like Mr. Skelton tried to say, and I think Mr. Little, that we hope to watch the project very close, and hopefully we don't have to replace as many piling as they were
Well,
put in the project. And that's what we discussed 2 weeks ago.
usually projects go over, so they don't ever go under, except for the asphalt project. I just think we should take some more time with it before we make that decision to go that much higher over the project. That's my opinion.
Yes, ma'am, but you was at the same meeting I was. I mean, there's a pre-construction bid meeting to get started before our next council meeting. If we don't do this, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
Well, it was kind of like a big oopsies then, that we voted on the wrong thing, I guess. We would have been talking about it 2 weeks ago had that been,
and he told me, but I was standing at the same meeting and he told you the same thing he told me. What do you want me to say?
well, I'm not sure what the problem is. I was just giving you my opinion. It's like you're trying to argue with me or something.
No, I'm just simply saying that I've showed you everything where the money's at. And it's like you keep asking, like, where we're gonna move it or what we're gonna do. And, you know, you're right. Construction projects have gone over a lot. And you're right, we did just bring one in a little under cost. So maybe we can keep this one at cost or maybe even a little under.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Little's gonna second it. Moving on, discussion, consideration of accepting the renewal contract with UniFirst on the uniforms.
Is all the employees satisfied with the service that they're getting from UniFirst? That you're aware of? I'll make that motion if everyone's satisfied with what you're getting out of it.
I'll second it.
They don't, that's all public.
So that's why I was asking.
Okay, they told me they were. Okay. All right, and the last thing, I'm not sure how much you want to go into, but Mr. Skelton was kind of leading up on this, but that's F, discussion and consideration proposal for threat advice on cybersecurity and IT coverage, and Advantage IT management. Matt, would you like to come forward? And I don't know, just,
Introduce myself. We're still ongoing with the assessment. I'm here more as a opportunity to put face with a name. My company is Advantage IT Management. We are based here in Mobile. I live in Satsuma, amongst you fine people. We're doing an assessment now, and we have some findings so far, but still doing some more review and research, and be ready to go over those things shortly with you guys. So thank you for considering us and giving us the opportunity.
all right, Matt,
Appreciate you.
thank you for coming
Thank
up here
you.
tonight and introducing yourself.
Thanks, Matt. I think we should probably table this until we get some more information from Matt.
I would agree, and on that, since it's going to be such a sensitive nature with our IT and all, can we do that in executive session?
We know exactly what we're gonna be talking about.
Not yet. We will know more once.
Some of the nature of the things that we'll be going over with my assessment review are going to be very sensitive in terms of the security posture. I don't think they're necessarily appropriate for a public meeting as it creates more risk.
We're gonna do it next week. Let me just look and see if we can find a way to do it in an executive session. Is that what you were talking about earlier, is maybe doing that? I mean, I think we should be able to do it, or should do it if we can.
But we don't want to sit here and publicly state our,
I agree.
things that we're trying to prevent, and so.
I can just email y'all before,
Okay. Okay.
make sure, I don't remember all the category. If this fits in one, it's kind of an unusual category, but there should be a category that we can request executive session on, I think.
Okay.
Any further questions for me? Okay. Again,
Thanks,
pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
All right, the final thing is resolution, ordinance, orders, and other business, resolution 2023-01-01, authorizing Civil Southeast to make application to the Mobile MPO for sidewalk improvements.
I'll put that in a motion.
We'll see.
Mr. Phillips will make a motion. Mr. Skelton will second it. And Do y'all have anything else that we know of we need to cover? If not, we got about 20 minutes, so that'll conclude our pre-council meeting. We'll reconvene in our regular order at 6:40 and
Yeah, that would be.
Call the regular meeting of the Satsuma City Council to order for our first meeting of 2023. So welcome everyone for January the 3rd, 2023. Hopefully we can get this year started off with a nice, quick meeting, get out of here before this weather gets real bad. So the first thing I'd like to do is welcome everyone, ask everyone that's in here to make sure if you do have a phone that you've turned it off so it won't disrupt the meeting. Most of you know we start all of our meetings with invocation, and we're going to ask Councilman Reese to give an invocation. So in just a moment, we'll ask you to stand. When she's completed, we'll start the pledge. So if you would, please remove your hats and remain standing at the end of the invocation. Ms. Reese?
Yes. Let us pray. Father God, we come to you tonight, and we thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you be with those that are sick or hurting, and those that have lost loved ones. We ask that you be with our first responders, Lord. We want to thank you for the holiday season that you provided for us, and put your hedge of protection around us as we go through the new year. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Reese. Heather, would you give a roll call, please?
Councilmember Little?
Here.
Councilmember Butler? Councilmember Skelton?
Present.
Councilmember Reese?
Present.
Councilmember Phillips?
Here.
Mayor Barlow?
Here. Please let the record reflect that all the officials are here, along with the city clerk, police department, fire department, and the city attorney. Next thing we have is our agenda. It's been distributed. Need a motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
Mayor, I'd like to add an item at the end of the meeting to go into executive session to discuss a matter with no official business to follow after.
Second.
Okay. I'm okay with the executive session, but don't we have to put a reason it's going to be? for-
Legal matter. Sorry.
Okay, we have the agenda, and Mr. Skelton has requested that we add an executive session regarding a legal matter at the end of our meeting. Ms. Reese is seconding. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to know what the legal matter pertains to. I mean, we want a second session. It would be a legal, potential legal claim against the city. That's what it relates to.
Okay. That answer your question, Mr. Phillips?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, motion was made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese, to add that to the agenda. And I guess with that add-on, your motion now is
Make a motion to
to
approve.
approve. Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese, to approve the agenda with the one add-on. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have the minutes from our last meeting, which was held on December the 20th of 2022. There was one correction, I think, that Heather said she made in between the workshop or the pre-council and the meeting. That was the only correction that I'd seen. Is there any other corrections or additions, deletions y'all want to make? I need a motion to approve as written.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little to approve the minutes with that one correction. If there's no further discussion, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Next thing we have under recognitions, the clerk listed the Human Trafficking Awareness Month as January, and the city of Satsuma has passed this proclamation for, I know, the last 3 years. So think, Ms. Reese, you said that you would handle it and we could take care of that. Would you still like to put that in form of a motion that we
Yes, sir. I
adopt this?
make a motion that Satsuma proclaims January 2023 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month.
I'll second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Phillips to approve the proclamation. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. It's passed. All right, in our pre-council, we had no visitors, nobody's on the list, but I do know that we do have a couple of people that are here with us tonight, so did y'all want to come forward and from the Ladies Club and state anything?
I
Ms.
was,
Callen?
I'm Judy Callen. I was not at the last meeting. I was a little bit under the weather with several things that's been happening in my family, but I wanted to catch you up on the events that we had in December. Of course, the Thanksgiving event we've talked about, but in December, we had the tour of homes and the Grinch breakfast and the bake sale. The Grinch breakfast netted us $3,000. We have now paid all of our obligations, will have paid all of our obligations for the first phase of the Union Chapel. So this $3,000 would enable us to put it in the bank and start on the second phase of fundraising. But just want to appreciate the city for all the support you've given us. The tour of homes was an absolute delight if you missed it. The Grinch breakfast was a delight. And if you didn't have our bread, that would have been a delight too. So we thank you again for your support, and we're looking forward to our next phase.
Well,
Thank
good.
you.
Glad to hear. Thank y'all. We hope to see that thing finished. I know y'all are eager to get it done. Okay, Mr. Mabry, hadn't seen you in quite a while. Come on up, please. Give your name. Uh-oh. Come on up. Introduce yourself for those who don't know you.
Clarence Maben. I got complained about night drive. I done asked the city council about doing it, and they just ignored me. And we just second-class citizens up in there. We pay tax and we don't get no representation at all. And we would love to have something doing to night drive. It's just getting worse and worse. And the garbage truck and the city truck, that's what turned it up. And we were like gasoline up in there. The mud hole, you just tearing our vehicles up. And the city, I don't know why you ignored us like that. You know, we were probably the oldest neighborhood in Satsuma back in there. And we can't get nothing done.
Does the garbage truck run down that road,
Yeah.
sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it goes down that road?
Twice a week.
Travis, I thought we did some work on down on Night
You
Drive.
put a little dirt. You put a little dirt in that road, last about 3 or 4 days. You put dirt in one hole. That whole street needs something done to it.
Of course, there is a tractor trailer that's in and out.
Ain't no tractor trailer in there.
Okay.
There's not no tractor trailer in there. Now, don't do it like this. We need help, man. We need help now. And I would appreciate it. The last time I was down here, they say we gonna do something. What you do? Nothing. So I would like to see the city do something, because we certainly assess something too. And we paying our tax, and we would love to have something done to that road. Thanks, sir.
All right, Mr. Maben, we'll look into that.
Tractor trailer full of-
I think there was some issue on exactly where the road is and what's the cities. I mean, that was going on when I got here. It just kind of went away. But Tom is supposed to have had some information on that. George, can you please find out from Tom tomorrow? Because there was some issue on exactly where the road was, if I understand, or what was, where it went. I think there was a dispute between some of the landowners of what was the city's portion, and I'll be honest with you, I'm just not sure as it goes back up in there, so. Okay. Okay, is there anyone else coming before the council tonight? All right, then we'll go into regular order of business. From the mayor's report. As I said, we had a good December and a good Christmas. I think the city looked very nice. Very pleased with the many events that went on, and thanks to all those who participated and helped in all of them. Sorry to say that we have still had some sickness and death in our community, so try to keep those families in your thoughts and prayers. As the Ladies Club has said, their chapel, if y'all have got a chance to ride down, is really taking shape, so we're real proud of that. We discussed in our pre-council some of these things more at length, but just to make sure that we cover them and list them in our meeting for the minutes. The ALDOT work has started there at the pilot, going into that in Chevron, to finally get the concrete down to hopefully stop those potholes and the complaints that we've been plagued with for years here at the city. So, hate the weather's turning bad as soon as they get started on it, but hopefully we'll see some progress on that and moving fast. And I did talk with the contractors, so they're eager to get to work on that. Also, as we said, our sidewalk project, we were hoping to get started today, but due to the weather and all, they have chose to hold off until next week. So hopefully in our next meeting, we will have that underway. Later on tonight, and we're looking into the next phase of our sidewalks, which we'll discuss further then. Same thing with the Go Mesa. The council has said that they would prefer for us to meet before the next meeting on January the 17th at 5:30. Our council meeting will be earlier than usual, so y'all try to be here a few minutes before if you can, so we will have a little time to go over the audit. So unless something happens, and I will let y'all know, but other than that, we'll plan on our pre-council starting at 5:30 on the 17th so we can devote the first 30 to 45 minutes to the audit. We have hired a new building inspector, George Fralick. George is here in the audience tonight, so we introduced him at the pre-council. So hopefully we can get the building permits and things under control. I would like to once again say that we worked closely with Saraland for the better part of 2 years now, and they've really helped us out, done a good job. I appreciate those guys. Since we had sold the city car a couple years ago, that it was really becoming a maintenance issue with it, and so we hadn't had anything, but we've used the building inspector's truck. So for the next meeting, I would like to make sure for the budgeted vehicle that we have, we're going to check on some prices and try to let y'all know, but we're going to have to get another vehicle for City Hall. Is there any discussions or issues with that? Okay. I think in pre-council, we talked about the 2 new police vehicles that we ordered several months ago that came in. Hopefully, we'll have them delivered and getting them ready for service by the next meeting. Other than that, the things that each of the council members are going to speak on or discuss, I think that pretty well wraps it up for me. So we'll move from the mayor's report to the public services and Mr. Randy Little.
Mayor, I did want to mention again, thanks to the employees that worked over the holidays, and everything seemed to run smooth. I was going to mention one other thing and I forgot, but anyway, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Well, if you think of it, we can come back to you. It ain't like there's going to be any problem, Mr. Little, so that'll be good. Mr. Butler, Public Services, or Public Safety?
On the fire department, Chief Waits will talk about the report.
Chief, would you mind coming here so the people at home can hear you? When y'all sit over there, they can't hear none of it. There's no mic.
We run, for the yearly average, we run 896 fire EMS related calls, 75 aid giving calls, that would be the Creola and Saraland Fire.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Okay, thank you, Mr. Butler. Moving on to Administration with Mr. Skelton.
I don't have anything at this time.
Ms. Reese, Parks and Recreation.
I don't have anything to report, Mayor.
We're really going fast tonight. Mr. Phillips, Public Works.
Mayor, I'm just going to name off some things we've done during the holidays. Like I said, I think Public Works done a great job, and trash and garbage on keeping up with all the rain and the holidays, and the city still looks good. But we did run the leaf act throughout the city daily, cut back limbs from utility lines, patched and resurfaced asphalt throughout the city. Started removing the decorations, the Christmas decorations throughout the city, and started cleaning the ditch on West Gilbert and Jeanette Drive. And that's all I got, Mayor.
Okay. Speaking of that, we're all thinking the employees, and likewise to say that, but I think we've got promotion has finally come through for Cedric there. Have we got all the paperwork finished up on that, Cedric, to get you moved up to the position?
I feel out all that I'm supposed to.
So, I was just letting the council know, because they voted for the opening the position up, the supervisory position. So, Heather, has that been filled yet? Everything, I thought we'd signed everything that needed to be. So, congratulations on your new job. Y'all guys had your hands full through the holidays, so I think the city looks nice, though. So, all right. Let's go into items for discussion and/or consideration. A, payment of the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $34,214.34.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips to pay the bills in the amount of $34,214.34. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
B, discussion and consideration of attending the NLC conference on March the 26th through the 28th, 2023, and that will be in Washington, D.C. Okay. I said that I would like to attend that. I think that
I make the
it would be
motion.
good.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Skelton, for whoever wants to attend the NLC on those dates. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
C, discussion and consideration of applying through the MPO, Mobile Metropolitan Planning Organization, for a sidewalk project 2024 TAP grant.
I'll put that in the form of motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Little, that we proceed with trying to apply with it through the MPO with the sidewalk grant. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. D, discussion and consideration of amending the awarding of the McElhaney Construction LLC as the lowest responsive bidder for the Go Mesa project in the amount of $1,330,131.08 instead of $1,147,103.98 to include the West Side Pier section.
I'll make that in the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips and seconded by Mr. Little. Any discussion?
So y'all know what I think about it in the pre-council, just, where the money's going to come from, since we're already going over budget, since the original grant was for $1,024,000. I know that we redid the Still Creek restrooms, and it was my hope that we would do some kind of marketing with new photos to just advertise the facilities that we had with the upgrade. And if you guys decide to move forward with this, I would hope that we would do something that we could, if we're going to invest in our community, do something to market Satsuma that would bring people, to Satsuma, not just residents, but people that are from out of town, like what the whole project is intended for, to bring awareness to the Delta. And so I don't know if that means, photographs, social media, but something where we're actually going to, see a return on this investment. And that's what I would ask that we would try to do.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Little. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed. E, discussion and consideration of accepting the renewal contract with UniFirst Uniforms, which is used by our public works and sanitation departments.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Okay. F is discussion and consideration of the proposal from the Threat Advance on cybersecurity and IT coverage and the Advantage IT management. I think we discussed this in pre-council, and it's probably going to require a lengthy meeting or two to get the information condensed down to where we can give it. Mr. Skelton's kind of worked on that. Would that be a fair assessment to say?
Yeah, I recommend we table this to a later meeting.
I'd agree with Mr. Skelton to give time for us to research that. It's kind of hit us quick that we'd have to take this drastic of action, and this could be costly if we don't watch out what we're getting into, so. That's why I was going to say we need it.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese to table F until a further meeting, we get more information. Any discussion further? All those in favor signify by
Aye.
aye. Okay. Moving on, resolution ordinances, orders, and other business. Resolution 2023-01-01, authorizing Civil Southeast LLC to make application to the Mobile MPO for sidewalk improvements.
I put that in form of motion, Mayor.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Skelton to pass the resolution, which I think is pretty much self-explanatory. It's the same sidewalks that we've discussed that we were turned down on or we did not receive the grant last year on. We are reapplying a little different way for these, so we're very hopeful and that we will be awarded something on this. So that's what it's in reference to. So we don't, since this is new on the agenda, we had to suspend the rules, put it up for immediate adoption.
Fine for something, I think
Yep.
you're okay.
Okay. If we don't need to, motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Skelton. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay. We have gone through all the items as listed on the agenda and everything that's come before us, I think we've addressed tonight. Is there anything that we need to do before going into executive session, since we generally come out and just go into adjourn the meeting at that time? Well, Mr. Skelton, I think that we've had one of the fastest council meetings we've had, I guess, with low attendance for this weather. It's 7:23. The executive session is regarding a legal issue, and we've got to put an approximate time we anticipate being gone. Can you?
10 minutes.
Okay, and we hope to be back out here by 7:35. So with that being said, we have a motion.
I'll make the motion to go.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese, that we go into executive session for approximately 10 minutes or so. All those in favor? Okay, it's 7:37. For the record, we have completed our executive session. If there's no other business to come before the council, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese, that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.